Hi, everyone. It's me. Number 10. The last photos of Amelia. Amelia Earhart was a trailblazing pilot who became famous for being the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She also set many other aviation records and wrote several books about her adventures. But in the late 1930s, she vanished without a trace while trying to circumnavigate the globe. Her plane simply disappeared over the Indian Ocean, and after a massive search effort, her body was never recovered. But there have always been rumors that she didn't really die, that she faked her own death to start a new life somewhere far away. Why? Well, when you're a famous person like Amelia, it's hard to get any privacy. People are always following you, taking your picture and trying to find out your business. Even worse, people will steal from you and try to destroy your reputation. All Amelia wanted was some peace and quiet. In the last photos ever taken of her, she can be seen on a tiny island in the Indian Ocean with a navigator, Fred knew. They were both very tired after their long flight, and they needed some rest. But the photos show something else as well. Both Amelia and Fred seem to be looking at something off in the distance, as if they were expecting someone or something. Was this the last time anyone ever saw the famous aviator alive? Maybe, but not necessarily. There are a lot of theories out there that Amelia staged her death so she could live out the rest of her days without being bothered by the press. Number 9. The unsolved disappearance of Mara Murray. On February 9th, 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student named Maura Murray crashed her car into a snowbank in Haverhill, New Hampshire. At the time of the crash, her car had a flat tire and the hood was up as if she was working on fixing the engine. When police arrived on the scene, they found that Maura was nowhere to be seen. There was no sign of struggle, so they assumed that she must have run away. But 6 days later, they found her abandoned car in a wooded area. Inside, they found a purse, keys, cell phone, laptop, winter coat, and ski goggles. But still no sign of Maura. Since then, the case has gone cold, and there have been absolutely zero leads. It's one of the most baffling missing persons cases in recent history, and nobody has any idea what really happened to her. Did she run away? Was she kidnapped? Or did something terrible happen to her in the woods? This is one unsolved mystery that still baffles the minds of investigators and keeps them up at night. No. 8. Lost in Space. Have you ever heard the song Lost in Space? It's an eerie tune that was used as the theme song for the classic TV series about a family who crash-landed on an alien planet. Well, in 1965, for astronauts aboard the Gemini for space mission were listening to the radio when they heard a strange transmission they couldn't believe there is. The voice was coming from an alien world, just like in the science fiction show. But here's the weird part. The voice wasn't from the future. It was actually coming from 1975, 10 years after the transmission was made. So where did the mysterious message come from? Nobody knows. Some say it was aliens trying to communicate with astronauts. Others say it was some kind of time. Whatever the truth may be, the voice still sends chills down the spines of anyone who hears it. Number 7. The Ghost Ship. Have you ever seen the movie The Ghost Ship? It's a scary story about a group of treasure hunters who find a haunted ship filled with ghosts. Well, it turns out that this movie is based on a true story. In 1985, a group of divers discovered a shipwreck off the coast of North Carolina. They were searching for treasure when they found the remains of the SS Republic. This ship sank back in 1909, and more than 100 people lost their lives. But here's the creepy part. As the divers explored the ship, they started hearing disembodied voices. They could hear footsteps, chains dragging, and even screams in the middle of the night. They tried to ignore it, but the sounds just kept getting louder and more intense. Eventually, they had to abandon their mission and flee the ship. Some people say that this is proof that ghosts exist. Others say that the divers were just imagining things. But one thing is for sure, the divers never went back to that ship. No. 6. The vanishing hitchhiker. There have been hundreds of cases of hitchhikers disappearing off the side of highways all across America. One of the most famous cases happened in 1945 when a man picked up a hitchhiker on a deserted road. He drove her 4 miles before she finally asked him to stop. When he let her out of the car, she thanked him and walked into the darkness. But the next morning, her body was found lying on the side of the road. She had been brutally murdered. And that's only one case of many. Throughout the decades, there have been dozens of cases of hitchhikers disappearing, leaving behind nothing but their abandoned cars and unanswered questions. What really happens to these people? Are they runaways? Were they kidnapped, or did they meet some other terrible fate? No! 5. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. In 1961, a group of 9 skiers were exploring the Ural Mountains in Russia when they were caught in an avalanche. Only 2 of them survived, and both of them were seriously injured. But here's the strange part. An investigation revealed that the group had cut open their tent from the inside and fled into the freezing cold, some of them without even wearing shoes. One of the survivors claimed that they had been attacked by a mysterious force, but nobody believed him. What really happened to this group? Was it something supernatural, or just another case of people acting strangely in the face of disaster? We may never know the truth, but the mystery continues to fascinate people to this day. No. 4. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is a mysterious book that was written in an unknown language. It's filled with strange illustrations of plants, animals, and astronomical charts. But here's the catch. Scholars have been unable to decipher this script for centuries. Some people believe that it's a secret code that contains hidden knowledge, while others think it's just a hoax. What's really amazing is that the book seems to have been created using actual plants. For example, the leaves of the water pepper plant make a perfect match for one of the illustrations in the book. But who wrote the book and why? And what's the meaning of its mysterious script? These are questions that have baffled experts for centuries. No. 3. The mystery of Mary Celeste. In 1872, a ship called the Mary Celeste was sailing through the Atlantic Ocean when it was discovered that the crew had mysteriously vanished. The ship was found abandoned and floating aimlessly on the open sea. But here's the thing. There was no sign of a struggle and no evidence of foul play. It's like the 7 crew members just got up one day and decided to abandon ship. But why? What could have caused them to leave their vessel without a trace? The mystery has never been solved, but there are plenty of theories. Some people say that the crew was attacked by pirates, while others think they were abducted by aliens. But we may never know the truth. No. 2. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In the late 1500s, a group of English settlers arrived in North America with the goal of creating a new colony. They settled on an island off the coast of present-day North Carolina, but within a few years, they had all vanished. When explorer John White returned to the colony 3 years later, he found that the settlement had been completely abandoned. The only clue to what happened was the word Croatoan carved into a post. This has led to all sorts of speculation over the years. Some people believe that the settlers were killed by Native Americans, while others think they simply integrated with local tribes. But the truth is, nobody knows what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. And now for number 1. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is a mysterious serial killer who California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. He was never caught, and his identity remains a mystery to this day. But what makes this case so fascinating is that the Zodiac Killer taunted the police with cryptic messages. He sent letters and postcards to the police, often bragging about his crimes and sometimes even predicting his next move. But here's the weird part. Some of the messages contained secret codes that the police were unable to decipher. It's like the killer was playing a game with the police, challenging them to catch him if they could. Thanks for watching. Which of these mysteries fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. See you soon. Bye.